Okay, so Islam Sheet doing Bafel. So it's March the 2nd, 2024. And still, this is part four. Um, so now I'm going to continue. So once again, we are the only true Moors here in Annapolis, Maryland. There are no other Moors that I know here. We don't know any one person here. Mine just went to the restroom, and he said this already, but we don't know any one person here in Annapolis. We never implied. In fact, I go to the extreme to demonstrate I don't want to have nothing to do with the African American Black Negro community here or anywhere. I go to the extreme to demonstrate that I don't want to have nothing to do with any one person here in Annapolis. This is what I do. When a black Negro, so when I started to have to call the police on African American Black Negroes because they were forced engaged. Okay. While I'm walking to work, literally. So I think I was here, so it was 20, I think it was 2016, 2017. I mean, the black Negro male, he pulled up next to me. Now, this is after a black Negro male went around Burger King, implying to be connected to the Army, singing How We Gonna Get This Soul, like a ritual, a satanic ritual. Singing loud. Phyllis didn't say anything to him. At the time, I was working with this guy named what is it? What was his name? Not what was his name? I can't even recall his name right now, but I'm pretty sure it's on other videos. And he stood in front of the black male that's a co-worker, smiling, the black male that implied to be connected to the United States Army, singing How We Gonna Get This Soul. Now the co-worker didn't say anything, the black male, but he just looked at him like, so I couldn't believe. I was like, why no one saying, can you leave? What are you're disturbing the customers? I mean, he went around Burger King singing How We Gonna Get This Soul. Now the soul could be the mind. When you are among unclean spirits, demonic spirits that are in different forms, African American, Black, Negro, male and female, that can plot thoughts and have been used to do so, because this is a military city. So this demonstrates how the military, Navy, Army, other military branches, the police, and other forms of agencies, maybe the FBI, whatever, have used lab experiments, the Black Negro, African American, for a very, very long time. Very long time. So long where now they think it's okay to demonstrate how unclean and filthy these creations, these lab experiments truly are. Whether they're wearing a suit and tie, hair perm, they send them to school, they get educated, they develop a skill, the type that low frequency Moors that have moved up the ladder, low frequency Moors who are probably mixed in the same energy, same DNA as they are, will allow in the nation of Moors to breed. The implication have been strongly, this is what has been going on with the Nation of Islam with Louis Farrakhan. Okay? Louis Farrakhan. This is I remember experiencing these thoughts years ago, and wondering how true it was. It was interesting because in 2017, when I went to the naturalization ceremony of Moorish American National Republic, we came here the last week of May of 2016, and I went to Baltimore to Temple 13 for the naturalization ceremony. And there was these black Negroes or African American males there, and they was standing there looking at me with their legs apart like this, like this, and they were saying something, but then I think someone signaled them to stop. But that wasn't the only dis-ease I experienced at the naturalization ceremony. So it let me know that they were welcome in that behavior at a ceremony of naturalization of freedom. So when you're dealing with forced breeding of unclean spirits, okay, so every African American do not have what a Moor has, especially if they are created and transformed from something else. So when I saw them there, the group of black males, Negro males, at the naturalization ceremony, Moorish American National Republic naturalization ceremony in Baltimore at Temple 13, and they behave in that manner in front of everyone, like a ritual. It was communication, but I did not want to. It's not that I want to say I didn't want to see it that way, but I didn't see it that way because I was still in a daze of wondering what truth is and growing spiritually. I didn't know. I still didn't know a lot of things. So to see different aspects of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, and how they behave, body movement, whatever, it's no doubt in my mind, but I'll leave a small little percent that there's forced breeding, using AI, lab freaks, lab experiments, black Negro males, the same black Negro males that I avoid here, that same type is there. The same black Negro males that send forth sharp pains to subjugate, saying brother. The black Negro female saying brother like it's trying to uplift the faggot male. Excuse me, wrong word. Unclean spirits that behave and attack women. Okay, that are males. That have to rape, molest a clean divine spirit. That's a woman to engage. Because it knows that the woman that's clean and celestial would never have anything to do with it. Once the woman, not the female male, not the lab freak will have sex with anything. Once the woman realized what and her value is as a celestial being, how important it is to protect herself in her lineage, and what that beast, that lab freak, truly is and what it's used for. And that includes male and female. So in this room, I would hear black Negro males saying, mine. The females keep hearing the accent saying, he loves you. Like, or they love you. Like I want their love. Why would any clean divine spirit want love from a beast, an animal that has to rape and molest to engage? The females, rapists, molesters, violent, vicious, to engage. And they create these kids that grow up to be just like them. Not just them, but those that speak Spanish from South Central America and Mexico. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder, so if I go to another country and I migrate there from another continent, and when I get there, I see the inhabitants that is indigenous to that landmass, and I realize that the inhabitants are something much more than I am. And I start saying, I need it. We need it. What does that tell you about Mexico? Mexicans. Those from South Central America. The black, Negro, African American. This is what I experienced. We need it. That lets me know that wherever they come from, they don't have the energy, the celestial spirit, the lineage that we have. And possibly it's so non-existent, they might not even be considered human, because many of them say werewolf, bird. Many of them, I can't tell you how many times I hear a Spanish accent in a room, and then a smell of a dog appears, just like the pale skin. The pale skin walking the dogs, which we know that they're having sex with. The dogs has the telepathic code. It's some type of AI. It's no different than any 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head, male or female. They having sex with those dogs. They having sex with other animals. They were doing that before it was known that the dogs have the telepathic code like they do. So imagine how bestiality has increased now that dogs have the telepathic code and they demonstrate more of a human behavior. They having sex with them. So to get to a long story short, because I maybe got 15, 20 more minutes. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I have never implied, especially after when I had to call the cops over 4 times, I think maybe 3 or 4 times, on black Negroes, African Americans in Annapolis, and explain what was going on. I never experienced anything like this before. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing. I couldn't believe that the black Negro male will actually go to the extreme to force engage, as though it had a right. And then I would experience 4 sharp pains, and the black Negro male would make noise or demonstrate that possibly it was involved in sending 4 sharp pains, as though it's a man. A lot of them connected to the United States military and the army. It's a man. It's the brother. And the police. And they're carrying guns. These animals, this beast, have guns. And they still are programmed to say brother through the telepathic code like some ritual. And they carrying guns. They have been programmed, and they are in depth and using different forms of behavior, supposedly to protect law-abiding citizens, to protect those who are productive citizens, who have upheld laws of freedom. But they carrying guns not for that reason. They are not taught on different ways of combat for that reason. They are taught these things to subdue and subjugate the citizens here. Especially, obviously, women. First, it starts off by force and engaging, sending sharp pains where on the physical plane, you're not able to see. So if a black Negro African American male is bold enough to attack a woman because the woman does not want to have anything to do with it in the public, sending 4 sharp pains to the internal organs, the genitals, molesting, because they have the code. Only those with the telepathic code can see. That is just the beginning. Not just them, but those from South Central America or other lab experiments. Maybe they're from different parts of Africa, or the pale skin, the collaboration of the Mason 3, whatever. It's just the beginning. If they will do something like that with the code where it's not able to be seen on the physical plane, it is just the start of what they're going to do to abuse their authority with a gun, and the tactics they have used or learned in reference to combat or whatever. If I have to demonstrate or document about my dreams being manipulated, black, Negro, males, and female actors in the room, they're trying to cause my genitals to have an orgasm, to stick their penis in my anus, a black Negro. So what does that tell you? That is just the beginning, because see, these are dreams on the spiritual and mental plane. And not only that, the Negro is connected to the military, the Navy, the Army, the police, or they have family members that are. So these are satanic rituals. That is just the beginning. So America right now seems to be concerned, their president, Biden, Trump, whatever, seemed to be concerned yet 2 days ago about the borders. About the borders and the flux of immigrants. They've been coming in for years. I started documenting during the COVID. So each one of those immigrants, a thought with the telepathic code, and they are able to use them on every American citizen, or because if they, well, the citizens might not be American, they're not naturalized. If they could, whatever, it could be a black Negro, another black Negro beast. So they bring another beast in the country. They bring another beast in the country to be upon the beast that's already here on this landmass, or those that are productive citizens and trying to live their life in a productive manner, to stalk them, rape and molest them mentally and spiritually through the telepathic code, rape and molest their children, control their thoughts, their emotions, to send for sharp pains, because they got to keep the cycling of medical bills, the medical system flourishing, so those doctors and the banks can make the money. Imani, I have to use the restroom again. So these are the immigrants. These are just thoughts. So here in Annapolis, there are a lot of immigrants from different parts of Africa, Senegal, a lot of immigrants, Nigerian, from different parts of Africa. You have those that maybe from the islands. There's definitely a lot of Mongoloid from South Central America and Mexico. You got the Chinese here. Some of the Chinese are in the United States military. You have Koreans here with their stores, their hair weave stores, where the black Negroes go and get their hair weave and so forth. Imani, I have to use the restroom. And so a thought, and all of them have the telepathic code. So they can see when the black Negro male, the buck, is molesting, stalking, and the black Negro female, the butt maker, that's unclean and unnatural in spirit, is molesting, stalking, and causing and sending forth sharp pains. The immigrants here. And they can see the connection with the military, because they have the code, I thought. Imagine why they allow all those immigrants to come here and they're not naturalized under laws of freedom. So the immigrants here, they see the black Negroes that are connected to the military, the pale skins that are connected to the military. They might say three with them, but they see they have a place to go to. The Chinese from China, the Koreans from North and South, or from South Korea. They have a place to go to. Now the South Central American Mexicans, they might if they're over here, they might, like a lot of them here illegally and being used as weapons. So but places where they actually come here and they are making a living, and the place where they come from is not necessarily considered third world, then they can go back. All of them can go back. But what I'm getting at is these immigrants are here, and so the thought is, are they having the code? So if they have the code and they see the black Negro behaving in the pale skin that's been here longer than they have, all right, because a lot of black Negroes, once again, they not think, which possibly is true, they come from Africa, they were slaves on some type of ship, whatever, or they were just maybe created in a lab, who knows, or transformed from something else, who knows. Nonetheless, they see that they've been here for a while and see how they behave, and they see the connection with the military. And not only that, a lot of them are involved in the military and the behavior and so forth, the process, creating lab freaks. So now there's a fluctuation, and all of them outside of natural law. All of them are outside of the constitutional law of freedom. So now there's a flux of immigrants for years coming to this landmass where they don't have to be naturalized under laws of freedom, but they can say peace. They can say brother paid. They can say whatever they want to say and behave in a manner that is outside of constitutional law, because they in a demonic jurisdiction. Because when you are demonstrating yourself in laws of freedom, you are in a high frequency jurisdiction. I go out my way to not have anything to do with blacks here in Annapolis on a personal level. Many times as a spiritual practitioner, because I can see spiritually and I practice spiritually, I say thank you, Allah, for killing and destroying this beast. Not just them, but any and all unclean spirits from South Central American Mexicans. Definitely very filthy and unclean. I can't say that enough. They could be from Pakistan. They could be from different parts of Africa, the continent. But I keep, emphasizing that black Negro, because the black Negro is definitely a beast that has been created to poison ancient celestial lines. That's why they sound just and do the exact same thing as those from Mexico, South Central America. Say, we need it. Not only that, I say thank you, Allah, for killing the filthy, low-life kids. Because if you have an unclean demonic spirit, not only that, the government have made it so you can create kids like you to do what you're doing, which is rape, molest, program to go to school, learn psychology, send for sharp pains. You're able to do that. Steal money. So let me get to that. So during COVID, for whatever reason, my hours were being cut, like many people. I'm not gonna say many were cut because of COVID. Because of the COVID when it first started around, I think 2021 money. 2020 it started. And after that, Thomas started calling me Mo. Why is there an issue with you using my name, Rhonda? And all I asked was, just call me. I never called him out a name that he didn't want to be called, or Phyllis. Even when I thought I offended her and called her something, I said, whoops, I apologize. Phyllis, I wanted to make sure, because I don't want to be offended, so I don't want to offend someone else. Or James. Any of the employees, I try to use the words that they tell me to use for their name. As if I say it wrong, I apologize, and when I realize I do, and keep trying to say it right as much as possible. So during COVID, when the restrictions were being implemented, hours were being cut. It was already very, very stressful. Not only that, before that happened, there was Phyllis, the manager, and James were already cutting my hours they would just get upset and tell me to go home. Usually after I got through waiting on a black Negro. For example, I noticed like black Negroes, after I would they would try to engage while I would walk to work or leave work, males, and I would do that and say, move, especially after I had to call the cops a couple of times. Phyllis, the manager, she started doing that, telling me to move, and then she started saying she didn't want me standing next to her. At first, I forgot all about me doing this years ago after having to call the cops because these aggressive, violent blacks were forced engaging. And then I remember I was doing that, and soon after, Phyllis started doing the exact same thing. She didn't want me to stand next to her to do the fries. She started making comments about not touching her, or me, and me not touching, she not touching me. And I told Phyllis, I said, Phyllis, we bump, I don't mind that. But Phyllis had got to a point when I first started working here. Once again, we're the only true Moors here in Annapolis. And she would be out of the blue upset. We were new, and she would get my attention while she was irritated, and literally and grab me in an aggressive manner. So I told Phyllis, please use my name tag, because I could tell she was irritated. Now, I didn't go and call a lawyer. I didn't go in, because I could have, especially after I told her this several times. I'm trying to maintain employment. Isn't that what productive citizens do? Imani and I, he's right here. Imani and I, we don't drink alcohol. Not saying we might not have a glass one day. I haven't had a glass of alcohol since I was 14. Since 2014. Was it 2014? Imani doesn't drink. When we used to pour libations, I used to like, it's okay because he was of age, but he didn't want, so. Don't smoke marijuana. Don't smoke cigarettes. We don't have a criminal background. So when I tried to tell Phyllis, the manager, to be careful ahead of time, because I noticed she kept doing it. One time I was in front, like a ritual. Like one time I was in front of the customer at the register, and once again she poked me hard to get my attention. But I didn't know she was coming up to poke me, and I said, ouch, as I'm looking at the customer, to let you know I didn't know she was coming up to poke me. Now, once again, African American blacks that imply or are in the Navy, Army, military, the police, and other regular black males, and females, they come and sit down, or they come in and leave. So it seemed like I was starting to have more and more issues after I would take an order. And it just so happened it was a black male or female customer. Or it could be now, then I noticed as I started to document and make this known, the Mexicans, those from South Central America. And the accents in the room, the Mexican accent became more and more prevalent. It was already prevalent I was hearing it, but it became more and more prevalent when I started to document about the black Negroes, African American accents, and about me having issues with the managers, James, Thomas, and Phyllis, after I take their order. Thomas, I just said, why are you calling me Mo? It got to a point where he just will curse. During the year where I found feathers under my bed, I started to see feathers on my path to work. And I was like, where are these feathers? And I started to hear the blacks, when they drive by, say bird. I even, there were two military people, male and female, blacks, African American, unless they claim a nationality, walking towards me. And I took out my camera because on the right of me, and I had already started recording. Thank goodness I was recording since I got here, because I started. I felt we were new. I didn't know, but it was enough to make me a little suspicious. But I didn't know how animal and beast the beasts we were among. I had no idea. So I took out my camera to court, and sure enough, it sounded like the black female that's dressed in army, the brown uniform, said that's why it's the bird. And so then gradually I started to hear black Negro males and females say bird, and then I would feel my genitals being attacked in a pain way, or feel pain in my internal organs, or pain in my head. And I would see a visual, because they have the science to do these things. They might not have the science to bring forth on the camera the visual, but they have the science and the frequency of a mongoloid look from South Central America or Mexico. Even could be from Pakistan, that Indian look. But the accents have been Spanish on this landmass. Have been Spanish in this room, excuse me. I didn't understand why was Thomas getting upset and offended when I asked him. I asked him, please don't curse at me, because he started to curse at me, like he was trying to show that he's a man, cursing at me in front of the customers, saying F-U-C-K. I was on camera, deep breathing. He came out of nowhere saying F-U-C-K. I noticed the coworker started saying F-U-C-K. That, as far as I know, that's a very sexual term, especially used in a professional atmosphere. And then Thomas was like, you can't tell me what to say out my mouth, like he spoke to a lawyer. Now, I could have called and got a lawyer after Phyllis literally poked me out of anger. And it was obvious now, because of probably maybe a black Negro or African American customer, who knows? Maybe the same male accents that's around the room saying, mine, I love her, brother paid. Maybe. I don't know. But I did not. What caused me to get in touch with the EEOC was, for a while I was seeing the feathers. I started to document the feathers on my path to work, and I was hearing the blacks say bird. I was already experiencing issues at Burger King. I called the EEOC, which is a government agency to help maintain employment, the United States government agency, because it got to a point where I would go to work and Phyllis would clock me out saying I stink. Now, I didn't clean under the bed, that is true, but I definitely kept the room clean. I would keep the room clean, keep the walls clean, actually the walls, no, but maybe the definitely the floor, whatever. We vacuumed and everything, kept it clean as much as possible. And I would change my clothes before I get to work. Before I start work at Burger King, and Phyllis would still clock me out and say I stink. So what caused me to look under the bed was I was trying. I've been growing spiritually, and I said I'm just gonna clean that room, and just start cleaning walls and just really just clean, clean, clean. You know, and just because I was already cleaning. Lifted up the mattress to clean because I saw the old stuff we had slid under there, and plus a lot of trash. I saw feathers that I would see on the path to work. So if you're doing some type of satanic ritual, now this is all in connection, all in the same time frame when Phyllis started to clock me out and say I stink. All in the same time frame still, Thomas called me Mo. They used the word F-U-C-K. It got to a point where one day I didn't even come to work because Thomas cursed me so much and cursed me so loud in front of the customers. Like he, once again, and still some of them have done this. Like they're trying to show that they're a man. I'm not there to be in your personal mental life or behavior and make you feel like a man or not, or make you feel like a woman or not. I am there to work at Burger King and demonstrate myself as a Burger King employee. And so, nonetheless, this is what caused me to contact the EEOC, which is a agency that can encourage lawful behavior. I mean, a lawyer. So I kept sending the EEOC. I did everything they told me to do. They said, send me this paperwork, get it notarized. I did it. They kept sending me back the information different to what I told them. I had to keep correcting, and I was spending money to get it notarized. So here they are. They're lawyers, or supposed to be educated lawyers. I'm sending them the information written down. Predominantly, I think all of them were African Americans. I'm not sure, but that's what they sound like, the accents on the phone. And every time they kept sending me the paperwork stating totally different than what I sent them. And I kept resending it, and I kept sending it to my Moorish American National Republic. I was like, and because I would send them the information as well. Because at the point where I couldn't work, even when I changed my clothes at work, because Phyllis was clocking me out, James and Phyllis were clocking me out before this started happening for odd reasons. I didn't understand why, but I assumed. But I just tried to not accuse. But it was obvious it had a lot to do with African American male customers and female customers. During COVID-19, when it first started happening, my hours were cut tremendously. I was trying to learn cryptocurrency. I was already hearing the frequency in the room. I had already been documenting, sending, asked them, I was like, I'm recording, telling them to, telling the representatives at the Senate Say America about it and everything. So I'm watching cryptocurrency flow. I'm learning how they go up and down, Dogecoin and so forth. I started to see the tablet freeze up when I was watching Dogecoin, and the accents that I had been giving testimony about, predominantly black Negro accents, saying, let us help you. So at the time, Dogecoin had went up to 70 cents, the highest. And so I was learning and trying to put money in when it was low, like at 20 cents or 24 cents, because that was really, really low for Dogecoin during that year. And the tablet froze up in the same accents saying, can we let us help you? Now this is during the time, once again, Burger King cut my hours because they say, it's COVID-19. The restrictions were happening. Only the drive-through, the dining room was closed. Not many stores were open. Some stores closed down. I noticed the closed down because of businesses and so forth. So that was very stressful, not having your hours. So here I am, I would say stressed about that. And then just so happened the tablet frees up and the accent in the room because I was already seeing that my tablet's being manipulated. The accent in the room said, "Can we help you?" So what that was doing is coercing me to steal AI. So once again, if you are new to a city, because see, 2021, you have people been here a lot longer. We came here of the last week of May of 2016. And it seems as though you're the only ones here. And like I said, as far as I know, we're the only true Moors here. And you see that a person may be challenged financially now. And you want to normalize sex trafficking and why you are stalking and doing and manipulating dreams and so forth. You are already stealing. You were stealing before the Moors got here, before Arrington-Bey and Arrington-Bey came to Annapolis. They were already being used to steal. What would the behavior they would do is the same. Hold on. So I'm going to end that and I'll go ahead and upload the video because I got to go. But what I want to say is, first it started off with Thomas saying Mo. Then I know it's Phyllis would say Mo and other managers would say Mo. Why would you even do that after an employee who is not a threat to you violently, just productive citizen trying to work, and she asks you, she's trying to maintain employment. I don't eat the food. I have not eaten the food at Burger King since 2017. As I grew spiritually, I chose to continue to do what I had planned to do before I came to Annapolis. Continue to try to learn alkaline food and vegan vegetarian food. That's what I was doing before I came to Annapolis. But even if I wasn't doing it before I came to Annapolis and all of a sudden I decided to do, that's my right to do so. That is my right to do so. So Imani and I think around 2017 is when we completely stopped eating. I didn't eat any meat besides, well, not take back, because we did have some chicken when we first got here. We had fish. I used to eat sushi. And I used to drink a lot of water. I used to drink not a lot of water. I used to drink water, sodas there, or mix them up and everything, and even the shakes, and then the French toast sticks and the onion rings. This is when we first got here. But after I was growing, I stopped. This is around 2017 approximately. I don't think if it did happen in 2018, it was probably once. So they used to have a veggie patty, a veggie sandwich. And when I say chicken, I'm saying we ate chicken somewhere else. But nonetheless, to get to a point is, I don't eat the food there. I haven't eaten there in years. And stopped drinking the water there because I focus on alkaline water. But nonetheless, it didn't stop. It doesn't stop me from mopping. It doesn't stop me from trying to perform customer service. It doesn't stop me from unplugging the poop that looks like it was deliberately done by some filthy, unclean lab experiment, and overflowing the toilet stool where the water flows all the way out to the dining room because no one says anything, or it was flowing for a while. It didn't stop me from mopping it up. It didn't stop me from cleaning, doing the tables, changing, emptying the pans, doing other forms of duties that I needed to do because I am an employee at Burger King. All I ask is don't imply sexual harassment. Do not be violent when you touch me. And because it seemed like they came together collaborate and say Mo, I just started to be very careful, especially after EEOC, when they were already doing things similar to that anyway. After one time Thomas, I was going to say this and recall the thought. One time Thomas had cursed me so much, I was very upset. I called and I told Phyllis, I said, I'm not coming in. I need to take a break from one day. I'm very upset still. I'm not coming in. So what I'm getting at is the feathers under the bed, the stalking, the forced engagement. These are all satanic rituals to cause mental dis-ease, the frequency in the room. And then the general manager, Jennifer, I kept telling her that I don't mind having room service. For some reason or another, there was no room service, especially when I had to tell her about someone breaking the chest in the room. I explained to her about how we keep the room, and I could tell possibly someone had came in here, and I said, I don't care if Extended Stay America coming here, but is someone else coming in here besides Extended Stay America? I mean, I can't care. This is Extended Stay America's property. Now it's Admiral Suites. I can, but I mean, I'm rational. This is not my property. It's not my house. They're supposed to come in. Then I noticed that they kept putting me off the maid service.